Hi, this is Brittany with Kansas City Creations, and today I'm going to be giving you my top 10 craft show tips. Enjoy! Number 10, make sure you have plenty of change on hand to make change for your customers. This includes $1 bills and $5 bills especially. Make sure you also have some 20s because there are always people at the beginning of shows who will come and pay with hundreds. To go along this line, you also want to make sure you decide if you're going to include sales tax in your purchase price or if you're going to add tax on top of the purchase price. If you are going to add tax on top of the purchase price, you're going to want to make sure that you have coins as well so that you can make proper change. If you are going to have sales tax included, you'll just need to make sure that you go back afterwards and you make sure that you calculate your prices correctly so that you know exactly what tax you need to pay. Number 9, make sure you have plenty of business cards available. You want to make sure that these are easily available for customers to spot and grab. A good way to do this is by using a slinky. All you got to do is just put your business cards inside. Customers can come up, they can grab one. Super easy, super handy. I get tons and tons of compliments from customers on my business card slinky. They love it. It makes it super easy. And I find that when I use it, I get about twice as many customers taking business cards as if I was just to lay them out on the table. As far as the business card itself, you want to make sure that you not only have your name, your business name, and your contact information, including a website, but you also want to make sure that you have listed the products that you sell. If a customer goes home and all they see is a business card that has your name and contact information, they might not remember what you were selling. And when a lot of times customers come to craft shows, they might grab 10, 20 business cards. You want to make sure that yours stands out, and you want to make sure that they know exactly what you sell so that if they want to contact you later, they can easily do that. Number 8, put prices on everything. Customers do not want to have to ask what the price is for every single little thing in your booth. If you're going to use signs, just make sure that the signage is large enough so that customers can easily see it. Also, when it comes to pricing, make sure you're competitive. Do some research ahead of time and see what things would sell for in the area that you're in. Or if you know that there's going to be somebody there selling things similar, get an idea of what their prices are so that you can price competitively. Make sure you don't sell yourself too short. You do not want to appear cheap. Your items most likely are handcrafted, they take time. You need to make sure that you price your things accordingly. A good kind of rule of thumb is to take your base cost that it took to make it and take it times 4, and there's your retail price. That way, if someone were to want to wholesale from you and buy in bulk, or if you wanted to put something on sale, you would still have a little margin of profit. Number 7, don't be too pushy. You want to make sure that you sell your product and that you show your product in its best way to your customers, but don't be too overwhelming. One really good example I have was from my very first craft show. I was walking around and I walked into a woman's crochet booth, and she had these really neat crochet scarves, but she put it on me and she was trying to explain to me all of the different ways I could wear it, and it felt really overwhelming and it was a little bit awkward. So talk to your customers, show them your product, but don't be pushy and don't be too overwhelming. Number 6, make sure you have plenty of inventory on hand. An empty booth does not attract customers. So if you have multiples of an item, keep something back behind the table or under the table so that if that same item sells, you can easily refill it in your booth. You want to make sure that your booth looks professional, which means making sure that it looks filled and it has enough inventory. Number 5, be creative and be professional with your booth presentation. You cannot just show up with a table with a bunch of stuff sitting on it. You're not going to attract customers. So this is where Pinterest is your best friend. Go to Pinterest and type in craft show booth ideas, vendor show ideas, and you'll have tons and tons of ideas on how to make your booth look creative professional in how to draw those customers in. Also, you'll want to make sure that you take pictures of your booth for future craft show applications. The majority of craft shows will want to see a picture of what your booth looks like. So make sure that you get a good picture before all your customers come in so that you can use that in future applications. Number 4, accept credit cards. This is something that in today's day and age is an absolute must. Over 60%, if not even higher, of these sales that I make come from credit card transactions. There's a couple of different ways that you can accept credit cards. The most popular is Square, and you can get a free Square reader. It plugs into your headphone jack on your phone. You can also get a standalone Square stand to use with an iPad, which is what I have personally, and I love it. You can also get PayPal readers. You can get all sorts of credit card readers, but you have to make sure that you're accepting credit cards. I don't know how many times I've had customers come up to me, especially in the second half of the day, and they say, "Do you accept credit cards? I ran out of all my cash." Because they've spent the whole day shopping. If you want to make that sale, you're going to have to accept credit cards. A lot of people question the credit card fee. For Square, it's not much at all. For PayPal as well, it's not much at all, around 2%. That is a cost that I'm willing to eat in order to make the sale. That's why it's important that you price your things competitively and you price them correctly so that when you take that 2% hit, you're still making a good profit. Number 3, create height with your booth. Think vertical, not always horizontal. Use all of the space that you have. Make sure though, even if you're creating height with your booth, that you keep your best sellers at eye level. Research has shown over and over again that customers are more likely to purchase things and more likely to look for things, obviously, that are at eye level. So use things such as grid wall. You can use risers, you can use crates, you can use all sorts of things to create height and create some dimension in your booth rather than everything laying flat on a table. Number 2, know your market and your demographics. You need to have a good grasp of who your customers are and what this show is going to be like so that you can adapt your booth and your products to make the most sales possible. So the first thing you need to know is what is the expected crowd size of this show? Is it going to be a smaller show? Is it known to be more of a larger show? So that you can have the right amount of product on hand for that crowd size. You also need to know a little bit about the customers themselves. Majority male, majority female. Are these going to be older people? Are they going to be more younger people? And these are some things that you can find out just by doing some research. Look on the craft show's Facebook page. Do some asking around if there's anybody else you know that has been to this show before, whether they've gone as a vendor or a customer. It doesn't matter. You just need to have an idea of who you're selling to. Because if you bring products that are attracting to a completely wrong demographic, you're not going to make any sales. The number 1 craft show tip I have for you today is create a good, positive first impression. So this not only goes with your booth presentation, making sure you have an attractive booth that draws customers in, make sure you have tablecloths on all of your tables, everything's looking professional, but also how you interact with customers. When a customer comes into your booth, say hi, hello, how are you doing? Is there anything I can help you find? Engage that customer without being too pushy. If you see them looking for something in particular, engage them and ask a question. Is there anything that I can help you with? Is there a different size that you need in that? Tell them a little bit about how it's made. So explain the product to them, create that good, positive first impression without being too pushy. You also need to make sure that you treat your business like a business and not a hobby. Even if what you're selling is just a hobby for you, the customer is purchasing from you as a business. So treat everything that you do as a business, from your interactions with customers to how you present your booth. If you do all of these things, hopefully you will have an awesome, successful first craft show experience. And there you have it, my top 10 craft show tips. If you have any questions, feel free to send me an email or a message. My contact information is down at the bottom. I would love to be able to help you with anything that you need when it comes to doing your first craft show. If you are not successful, don't be discouraged. My first craft show, I made hardly anything. So just keep on working. You will learn from every show that you do. And if you have any questions at any time, please feel free to contact me. Thanks. Bye.